it's good to sort of go into Christmas with a bit of a plan. I always say, any holiday, have a plan for how you're going to go. Think about your food before you go into Christmas. Think about, if you've got like your grandmother or your mother makes a really nice fruit cake, allow yourself to have that. If you're going to have a couple of extra glasses of wine, you can sort of factor that in, but don't waste calories on junk. If you go to a Christmas party and there's cheese and crackers and chocolates, and just don't even start eating stuff like that. Like, stick to your meat and veg, and then choose what you're going to do as well. So, as I said, a piece of fruit cake, glass of wine, but just don't totally lose it. Don't let your hair down all over the place.
Well, it's the last one for the year, and it's so great to be back in the studio with Peter Mullen from Health and Wellbeing. Peter, I've got to say, I've missed you.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
Missed you. The last one coming out for the year.
Yeah.
Although, as all of our guests have been doing this week, that'll be filmed and on camera, you actually have to share your space with the Christmas dog.
Christmas dog and Christmas tree. That's very Christmassy.
Yeah, and which is good, because this week we'll be looking at your 10 tips for a healthy holiday season.
That's right, mate. How to survive the Christmas period in one piece.
Stay away from the family and friends. That's a good and work. If you can do that, you don't need the others.
Remember, you said that, not me.
Fair enough.
It's good to sort of go into Christmas with a bit of a plan. I always say, any holiday, have a plan for how you're going to go. Think about your food before you go into Christmas. Think about, if you've got like your grandmother or your mother makes a really nice fruit cake, allow yourself to have that. If you're going to have a couple of extra glasses of wine, you can sort of factor that in, but don't waste calories on junk. If you go to a Christmas party and there's cheese and crackers and chocolates, and just don't even start eating stuff like that. Like, stick to your meat and veg, and then choose what you're going to do as well. So, as I said, a piece of fruit cake, glass of wine, but just don't totally lose it. Don't let your hair down all over the place.
Well, which is a bit interesting, because most people think, it's Christmas, you can have a little bit of this and that at Christmas. It's Christmas time, it's holidays. You're saying try and resist that as much as you can.
Oh, just have a plan. The worst thing that happens for so many of us Aussies is, we get to the end of Christmas and we're 2 kilos heavier than what we were when we started. So there's no need to go overboard if you stay a bit conscious about what you're going to have. And the thing is, Christmas really is only one meal, one day. So just because we're on holidays doesn't mean, we want to let go of all the good habits we've just started to put on this year. So,
and I guess as well, the second on your list being that, like, if food is one thing that you struggle with, got my hand up nice and early on this one, I guess keep in mind, try and restrict it to Christmas Day and not let it balloon out for the whole holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely. And holidays are about letting your hair down and, probably eating a few different things. But we just the idea is that if you have a plan, just don't go overboard with stuff. Because you don't want to get to the end of the holiday period and be 2 kilos heavier. So, yeah, just have a plan and stick to it.
So, what's on the table at the Mullen household for Christmas? So, what are you expecting to have for lunch and dinner?
So Christmas Day is at our house this year, and we.
Oh, so I'm just the invitation. I don't know where that's at. It's. Is this no? There's no invitation, Peter.
Yes,
come on.
It's possibly still in the mail.
Okay, it'll arrive
Which is
February.
Terribly slow.
It's on its way February 5th.
January. Yeah. So Christmas Day we usually start the day with, or Dana and I still have it like our normal shake that we have, like a protein sort of smoothie for breakfast, and then we'll have fruit, cherries, all of that sort of stuff. Christmas Day, I think we've got a turkey, roast turkey in the oven. My mother-in-law makes veal schnitzel every year, so we have veal schnitzel.
So it's part of a tradition at your place.
It's a bit of a tradition, and heap of salads, and it's all really. We don't do the big baked dinner and all the trimmings like we do.
Fair enough. You mentioned cherries, haven't they been fantastic this season?
Yeah, well, I've only just started having some recently, and they've been beautiful.
Not cheap, but they've been good.
Yeah, and
what about
then
Christmas crackers? Do you do those?
We do Christmas crackers. Dana makes a sensational pavlova, which again is not a health food by any stretch of the imagination, but we'll have
a tasty food.
One of my patients makes me a beautiful Christmas pudding every year, so I usually give half of that we'll use some on the day, and then I keep the rest of that for myself. That's my special Christmas treat. I love a really nice Christmas pudding. So
I'm liking the look of your third tip to get through the holidays as well. If you fail once, don't give up altogether. We do that. We see that a lot, don't you? Think, I've messed up, so what's the point? But you're saying you got to get focused, get back
absolutely.
on track.
Just allow yourself to have a good day on Christmas Day. But what we've done in the past is, if someone's given us a heap of chocolates, we'll put them out on the day. So sort of you can use the masses to eat up anything in the house that you know is just going to be a temptation for you afterwards. Oh. So that's a good tip.
Yeah, lots of temptations this time of year, Peter. It's tricky. It is tricky.
It is tricky. Yeah, well, we'll get onto the other stuff in a minute. But I just wanted to say, we've really had a great year this year, haven't we?
It's been fun. It's been good fun.
Yeah, and I've really enjoyed. I really appreciate the fact that people actually do listen to the program out there. Mm-hmm. Quite a few of the talks that we've done this year, I always ask in the audience, where have people come from? And there's always a good contingent of people have come from hearing about the talks on the radio, or maybe listening to this program as well. So I think that's a lot to be grateful for, that people are interested in health and well-being, and that we've had such a good feedback this year. We
only get one shot at it, that's for sure. And I guess a little later we'll find out about some of the first talks that you'll have for 2018 when we catch up a little bit later. I guess back into your 10 tips for surviving Christmas, eating mindfully. Now this is I struggle with this all the time, still do.
Well, but next year I've declared in my own mind that next year is going to be 2018, the year of mindfulness. I think, generally we need a bigger push on people getting more conscious and aware of what they're doing. So that's my theory anyway. So many of my young patients are coming in suffering from anxiety, and it's just crazy. So anyway, that's my personal focus for the new year. But, a great way to start is to chew well and eat slowly. Like, be mindful of what we're eating, mindful of how we're eating. And rather than be Mr. Hoover, is that you?
It is. But it's tricky, though. If you if you're a person that enjoys their food,
yes,
it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit, or hand to mouth. You become that sort of Homer Simpson's, down it goes.
Well, look, my tip to you is to sit on one of your hands.
Okay.
That might slow you up.
Probably on the right hand, because that's where the spoon usually is. So.
Well, I have been known to recommend patients in the past that have been serial hoovers to actually eat their dinner with chopsticks.
Oh, no.
Just to slow down, because one of the reasons
particularly if it's soup.
Well, one of the reasons people eat so fast is because their nervous system is too turned on. You eat fast because quite literally your nervous system is way too stressed for what you're doing, which is just sitting to enjoy a meal. So it's a good idea, if you feel racy, just to stop, flick through a magazine, don't eat straight away, and then start to eat.
I feel like he's talking straight to me this afternoon, Peter.
Well, it does, because the food needs to be chewed to its paste before you're going to absorb the nutrition from it anyway.
Otherwise, it just goes through and you don't get any real benefit out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What about, I like the next one, never eat on 2 feet. So you suggested we should be sitting down?
Yeah, same thing again. Like, food should be something that we consciously sit down and eat. People often, when you stand on 2 feet, you eat more than what you need. You'll eat it again too quick. You'll wash it down with a big drink of water. So again, you're not going to be getting the benefit from it. And the same, in theory, never eating in front of the TV. And we've talked about this before, never eating in bed.
Oh, I've never been one for that. I think you make a mess and crumbs and all that. That's not my scene. But eating in front of the television, that's why we invented television, so we could eat in front of them.
Yeah, and it's the ultimate in mindless eating. Eating in front of a TV where you're watching TV, you're not really getting connected with what you're eating or being mindful of.
And you seem that it seems like the amount of time that you eat, it correlates with how long the television program goes for.
Absolutely, and if you might finish your meal, but because the TV is still going, you think, just go and get a
bag of chips around here somewhere, I'll get through those. A couple of biscuits.
Yeah. So, and it's linking, what you're doing is you're linking eating to relaxation and entertainment, which again leads to mindless overeating and emotional eating, which is a big problem. Food in some respects, is the biggest legal drug available to people.
And interesting you say that, because it's tricky, because it is linked with an activity that you have to do. Like, I guess if it's smoking or illicit drugs, to a sense, they're not something that you have to do anyway to survive. I mean, not just downplaying how hard it is to get off that stuff. But if you have an eating problem, you have to eat anyway.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's still a process that you have to live with.
It's a big challenge because, like you're saying, if you're a smoker, you're either a smoker or you're a non-smoker.
Yeah.
With food, everybody has to eat. So, yeah, and there's a lot of people that do struggle with eating challenges and, to varying degrees as well. Don't go to every party that you're asked to if you're not, particularly looking forward to going to it. So pick and choose what you're going to go to. And, when you do go, if you go to these sorts of functions, if there's going to be sort of snack food or nibblies, have a protein-based meal before you go. Like, don't go to these things starving hungry, because you'll probably eat more and you'll probably drink more than what you normally would.
You know the trick, though, because you think, right, the boss is putting on free food, so I'm going to go there with an empty stomach. There's going to be nothing but air in my stomach, and I'm going to get as much as I can. I'm going to gorge, and then we're right into the pitfall of what we've been talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's not a bad idea to have something before you go.
Number 8, drink alcohol.
Yes.
Oh, in moderation.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So alcohol is something, it obviously goes with the festive season, and it's probably something that, most of us will have some of. But same way that you have a bit of a plan for your food, have a plan for your alcohol. If over the Christmas period this year, if you can drink maybe half of what you would normally drink, like oftentimes when we're drinking and eating, we have more, particularly us guys, just because it's there.
Yeah.
We don't sort of think, right, I normally have 6 beers tonight I'm just going to have 4 and try and have more water in between, because your liver and your body will love you for it.
They certainly will.
So just having a bit of a plan, like if you go to a party, the old things, like have a beer or have a wine and then have a glass of water in between. Keep hydrated.
The next one's interesting. Only eat with people you like.
Look, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek. The theory is that, to help your digestion, you want to eat in a calm, peaceful, happy environment.
So what if you're at the Christmas party and there's like someone from the office that you're like, I don't really like that guy or that girl.
Don't sit next to them to have your lunch, Mark.
Don't sit next to them.
No, move to the other side of the room.
Fair enough.
So that's always a bit tongue-in-cheek, but one of my favourite tips for Christmas is, if you want to avoid indigestion, don't eat with people you don't like. And
the last one, which you kind of touched on, I'll be picky about the functions you go to. So there we go.
Yeah. And probably holidays. So I'm on holidays for 2 weeks myself as well. So I always make a point. Holidays, I like to think, Christmas and New Year, I love this time of year. It's an opportunity to sort of think about the year that's been, but also to let go of the year that's been. So many things that have happened in 2017 now we obviously can't go back and do anything about. So I think of it as like pressing that reset button. So I like to start the new year off and think, right, we've just let as much go as possible.
As long as you don't say new year, new me. Is that the phrase?
No,
Have I got it wrong?
It's definitely not a new year, new me, but hopefully working on a up-modelled version.
Fair enough. Now, if you've got those 10 tips and you completely fail over the holidays, so great news, because Peter's next talk, which is happening late January, is his weight loss talk. So, look,
that's right. I shouldn't have been giving all these tips away, Mark.
No, I couldn't stay away from the food and the chips and the little lollies and the grog was there. Let's go to a weight loss talk with Peter Mullen. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's our first talk for the new year, and it's on in January the 23rd, about weight loss and about we do a lot of work with people. So the talk's a free talk. People are welcome to come along. Some great tips on how to manage weight naturally. We're talking a lot about the ketogenic diet, ketogenic approach for fat loss as well. So, yeah, it's a good way to sort of, again, just get rid of, if you have put on those 2 kilos over the Christmas period, just to get back on track and get a bit refocused. And
you'll be back joining us in 2018 for another year of health and wellbeing. And oddly enough, we'll be resetting that year, talking about on your first trip back with us, goal setting and weight loss. Yeah, absolutely. I love this time of year just to be, think about the year ahead. It doesn't always guarantee the outcome, but if you've got a plan for how you'd like the year to go, it's going to run much more closely to that if you've actually got something in place rather than not having anything in place. Not having it in plan. One tip. This is a really great tip for anyone out there that has been a bit slack with their exercise. I always try, and on the Christmas period particularly, I'll get up every morning while I'm on holidays and go and have a swim or go for a walk.
So anyone else out there wants to join me, it's one of the best ways to get your body back used to exercising. And again, that really helps you to keep a bit focused on Christmas holidays as well.
Well, aren't you good, Peter? Thank you so much. It's been a good year. We'll catch you in 2018.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thanks for all your input this year as well.
I've done nothing. I've just sit here and just listened to your great tips. There's been plenty of them. Of course, you can head to mullenhealth.com.au for some more information on some of the great info that Peter has put out through the year. We'll catch him next year. Peter Mullen, have a great Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thanks very much, Mark. You too, and to all the listeners as well.